At first, it was a coincidence. He lived relatively close to me, so when I accepted the ride and picked him up, he seemed relieved. His route was a 4-hour ride all the way to a seaside town, often visited in the summer, but he was heading there in late autumn. I figured people cancelled on him once they saw the route, so my acceptance gratified him. I needed the money, so I figured it was worth it, though he stayed silent the entire ride and didn't even thank me for the absurd trip. The next day, I saw another ride request from him, back to the seaside town. I accepted again, despite how strange it was for him to go 2 days in a row. Each time he gave a 30% tip on top of the already high fare. This set a routine for the next few months. Every weekday, I would drive him to the town and back, always receiving a 30% tip. I wasn't much of a talker, but occasionally I would try to start a conversation, only to be met with silence. One time, I even offered him my personal number to avoid Uber's fees, but he declined. One day, he finally spoke, startling me. "The town means a lot to me," he said. It was as if it was the first time he'd spoken to anyone in a long time. He opened up about his connection to the place, how he used to visit often. I asked if he was retired, and he said no, that he lived off passive income. His voice softened as he reminisced about the local spots, an ice cream shop, bike rentals, and other places he loved. By the time we arrived at the seaside town, I was eager to learn more. He left me with a smile, and I was surprised to receive a 50% tip that day. It was his highest tip yet. The next day, I asked him more questions, curious about his connection to the town. But I was met with silence again. The tips returned to 30%, but I didn't mind. It was still generous. Weeks passed in the same pattern, silent rides, except for occasional stops at the places he recommended. I never saw him at those places, despite visiting them. One midweek, he broke the silence again. "I go there to see my wife," he said bluntly. My curiosity piqued. I tried to ask more, but he shared only fragments of his life. He described his wife, blonde, slender, and middle-aged. His face lit up as he talked about her, but he spoke near the end of the trip, leaving me with more questions than answers. He was infatuated, glowing as he shared memories. By the time we arrived, I was eager to hear more, but he fell silent again. Weeks went by like this. Occasionally, he would share brief insights, but mostly, he remained quiet. I wondered why they lived apart, why he visited her for only a short time each day. Then one day, he revealed the truth: she died. My heart sank. The whole bizarre routine made sense now. He was reliving memories of their life together. He told me about their ups and downs, and how he missed sharing his life with her. His story touched me deeply, giving me a new perspective on life. Before he left the car, he shared one final piece of wisdom: it's the routines that matter. They keep memories alive. The next few days, he was silent again. I realized that any conversation had to be initiated by him. I waited patiently, knowing that he would eventually open up. One week before their anniversary, he shared the details of her disappearance. They had been walking near the pier, and when he looked away for just a moment, she vanished. Days later, they found her body. The police determined she had been abducted and later returned to the pier, but the case went cold due to lack of evidence. Despite the tragedy, he clung to the memories of their time together. He asked me to take him to the town on their anniversary, and I agreed. I felt a sense of duty to help him continue his ritual. On the day of their anniversary, he appeared in the sharpest clothes I'd ever seen him wear. The ride was silent, but filled with hope. When we arrived, he told me he had relived their memories exactly as they had been. He seemed content, and I felt a deep connection to his journey. The next few weeks, he continued tipping generously, and I realized I had become part of his routine. His story had changed my life as well. But one day, I received a news notification: a woman had gone missing near the pier, just like his wife. My heart sank as I pieced together what might have happened. I knew the routine had become more than just a memory for him, it was his new reality. And yet, despite my suspicions, I couldn't bring myself to turn him in.